Hey Wimborne World Entertainment, and almost like clockwork with all this casting news and stuff for the brand new DCU, we're now getting rumours of what the studio is actually looking for in the next Batman, for of course, Batman the Brave and the Bold. And once you hear it, you kind of go, this all sounds very familiar. And that should probably be concerning. As well as what we know they're doing with Brave and the Bold, it's already concerning and a stupid idea. But we'll have a look at this article which talks about this and what exactly is happening, and kind of gives maybe us a hint of when we could expect this movie. So it says Superman is already in post-production, but when it comes to plans for the DCU's Batman and Wonder Woman, we remain largely in the dark. James Gunn doesn't appear to be in any huge rush to fill those roles, and has instead been focused on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Lanterns in recent weeks. We also know that David Zaslav is super pissed about this and wants Batman on the screen sooner than later. So it says this: the Flash director Andy Muschietti remains attached to direct The Brave and the Bold, but his commitments to HBO's It prequel, Welcome to Derry, have seemingly made the reboot less of a priority. Now that's something I only talked about there the other day with one of these videos about Batman and stuff. Was, as far as I was aware, Andy Muschietti was still attached, but I said I think he was involved with the Welcome to Derry series. This confirms that. If he is wrapped up in that, and it's saying it makes this Batman less of a priority, number one, I don't think he's going to stick around for the movie. I honestly don't. And after the disaster that was The Flash, I don't think Warner Brothers are going to be all that pushed to keep him around to do it either. But two, it means we are not looking at this movie happening anytime soon, which is just like an eye roll at this stage. It's like, really? So it says, there's also the small matter of Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 being on the way after The Penguin has received rave reviews from fans and critics alike. It should go without saying then that the pressure is on to cast the perfect Bruce Wayne for the DCU. Scooper, My Time to Shine, who has been on a roll lately with the DCU leaks, has today revealed DC Studios wants to cast a middle-aged man to play the DCU Batman. This isn't overly surprising because this Batman will be the father of a 10-year-old boy and someone who has protected Gotham City for a decade. This all sounds a bit Batman vs Superman, doesn't it? When Zack Snyder was casting that movie, we learned early on he was searching for a middle-aged Bruce, explaining why names like Josh Brolin and Ben Affleck, who was eventually cast, being in the mix. Now, it seems the DCU is doing the same, despite having a youthful Superman in 31-year-old David Cornsweet. It's worth noting that some fans have already expressed concerns over the age of many characters in this shared world, including Hal Jordan, who will be played by Kyle Chandler, who's 59, Guy Gardner, who's been played by Nathan Fillion, who's 53, and Mr. Terrific, Eddie, however you pronounce his second name, who's 45. It seems the DCU will be full of experienced superheroes and a world with a pre-established history, much of which we won't get to see. Talking at the beginning of 2023 about DC Studios' plans for The Brave and the Bold, Gunn said, "This is the introduction of the DCU's Batman. This is the story of Damian Wayne, who is Batman's actual son, who we didn't know existed for the first 8 to 10 years of his life. He was raised as a little murderer and assassin. He's a little son of a bitch. He's my favourite Robin. It's based on the Grant Morrison comic book run, which is one of my favourite Batman runs, and we are putting that all together right now." His DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran added, "And this is obviously a feature film, and it's going to feature other members of the extended Bat family, just because we feel like they've been left out of the Batman stories in the theatre for far too long." Now, everything that we've just gone over there, to start with, the Grant Morrison runs, ugh, good Christ. Damian Wayne, probably one of the most disliked characters in DC. Not to mention that this is what James Gunn wants to do. He wants to tell Damian Wayne's story, who's the 5th Robin. Yeah, he's the 5th. So you were going to miss out on Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and even Stephanie Brown to go all the way to the 5th Robin in Damian Wayne's. The version of Robin nobody liked. Everybody hated that character. But no. It's James Gunn's favourite, so that's what we're getting. And this was the biggest issue with James Gunn getting put in charge of the DCU, was the fact that every choice he was making was based on what his favourite stuff was, what he wanted to see. It was never the case of, well, what do the fans want from Batman? Oh, they want that. Okay, we should listen to that and try and incorporate it. What else? Oh, that. Okay, we can try and do that. Not, it's my favourite. Screw them. I want to see this version of Batman. I want to see Damian Wayne. Why? Why is that what we're going to get first? And the fact that they are doing this whole, oh, we're just going to get rid of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and all this, and we're going to introduce, and they said flat out that he lied, because he's always lying. He'll turn around and say, oh, I never said it. He absolutely said Batman and Superman and all that were going to be somewhat in the same age range. They wanted to cast younger. That is what he said. They wanted to cast younger. And then the first thing he mentioned for Batman was, oh, we're going to do Brave and the Bold, you know, where he's got his son Damian, who's 10. And straight away everybody went, hang on, that means Batman has to be at least in his 40s. What are you talking about? Which also then led to people going, so why did you get rid of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck? Like, hello? They could have worked perfectly. That's the worst thing he did. You could have kept all of them actors and just restarted the stories fresh without having to do backstories and, you know, the origin stories and all this. You could have just continued but ignored everything else and just made a kind of fresh start. But no. Instead, we're getting all the garbage comic book runs that James Gunn says he loves. We're getting Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow. You know, we're getting his version of Superman with all the characters he wanted to see, like the Authority being put in there and crap. And his Batman choices, number one, he's getting Andy Muschietti, who did great with the 2 It movies. You know, he's not terrible, but by Jesus, did he drop the ball when it came to The Flash. And to hand him another DC project, and this time Batman? Come on. And let's face it, yes, Michael Keaton was the standout in The Flash, but at the same time, he killed him off. Why would you do that? Why would you kill Batman off? And the guy lost the studio so much money, and they're handing him Brave and the Bold. Again, I don't think Andy Muschietti is going to stick around, but this just sounds like they have absolutely no plan for this movie. It's literally, I love this version of Robin, I love this comic book, but how are we actually gonna make it? And they now are just sitting on their hands going, doop-a-doop-a-doop, I have no idea. Good Christ, what a disaster this is turning out to be. And again, it all depends on what happens with Superman. If that movie comes out and is absolute horrendous, then they've got a big problem on their hands. And I don't think all these announcements will make any difference, because they will all be already in trouble. We'll wait and see. But they are currently looking for a middle-aged Batman again. So with that, I'll leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.